How's it going, everyone? Welcome to episode 203 of the Idiotic Sports Talk. I'm your host, Liam Gavin, coming to you live from my bedroom. And today, I'm going to give you all the Week 12 picks around the NFL. Last week, the record was 9-5, so we bounced back, but let's improve even more. Let's keep going. Let's shoot to the moon. We'll start with tomorrow's games, the Thanksgiving games on Thursday. Speaking of Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving to everyone watching this. I hope you guys have a great holiday, a blessed holiday, and let's dive into some football. So the Packers take on the Lions. NFC North rivals face each other for the second time this season. The Lions got the better of them last time, earlier this season. Both teams are coming off a close win this past week. The Lions are just better overall by a large margin, though. I mean, QB, run game, wide receiver core, tight end, defense, you name it. The Lions are just way better. They've owned the Packers recently in recent years, and I say it continues. So 30-19 for the Lions. Next, the Commanders take on my Dallas Cowboys. So NFC East rivals, they'll meet for the first time this season, and the Cowboys look sharp. The Commanders have not, though. And although Sam Howell has moved the ball very well for the Commanders, I just see the Cowboys defense neutralizing them and, forcing some turnovers. Dak and the offense, they should be able to move the ball versus Commanders defense that is not that good. And then last season, week 18, I remember the Commanders beat the Cowboys. It was pretty much a meaningless game. The Cowboys went out there and just kind of made it as a joke, but they did get blown out. And I remember one play, Dak almost threw a pick six, and they went back to the same play, and he got picked off, and it was a pick six. And I just remember Commanders fans were chirping, saying all this crap, even though they didn't even make the playoffs that year. So it left a very sour taste in my mouth. So I hope the Cowboys beat the crap out of them, 28-13. Next, the Niners take on the Seahawks. So these are NFC West rivals, and they're meeting for the first time. They're squaring up for the first time this season. The Niners seem, to have formed that juggernaut again. They were 5-0, they dropped 3 straight, and people were questioning. But now that it looks like they're back, offense and defense is looking back to normal. They're very healthy, which is a very important part of any team, but especially this team. They cruised to victory last week, and unlike the Seahawks, they're unhealthy. They lost last week in a game that they should have won, but it was due to injury. Geno Smith was out, Kenneth Walker was out, and I don't know if they'll play on Thursday. I think Geno might. I don't think Kenneth Walker's good to go, and it's such a short week. And after both were injured on Sunday, Geno did return. He did return. But as for Kenneth Walker, he did not return at all. So it makes me wonder that Geno Smith will be playing and Kenneth Walker won't be. But luckily for Seattle, they're always a tough team to play at home. And these two teams always split the series 1-1 on the season. They have the 12th man at home, a lot of noise. And I don't know. I need a definite injury update to make this pick. But I'll say this. If Geno Smith and Kenneth Walker are out, I got the Niners winning 34-10. But if Geno and Kenneth Walker are playing, or if it's just Geno able to play with Zach Charbonnet, I got the Seattle upset 23-21. Next is the Friday game. One Friday game, Black Friday. It is the Jets taking on the Dolphins. 2 AFC East teams face off for the first time this season. They play each other in the NFL's first Black Friday game ever. Kickoff is at 3 p.m. on Amazon Prime. And since 1978, only 2 NFL teams have played on a Friday. The last NFL game on a Friday that wasn't a holiday was 1986. So it's very rare to see an NFL game being played on a Friday. But hey, I ain't complaining. I like Friday football. I like any day football. So the Jets season, it's slowly disintegrating. They lost 3 straight. They benched their quarterback, Zach Wilson. And now, their quarterback 2, who's starting, is Tim Boyle. And Zach Wilson, he's not even quarterback 2. He got demoted to quarterback number 3 on the depth chart. And a lot of dysfunction going on with the Jets right now. It seems like all hope is lost. But, mathematically, they're still in the playoff race, and a win could really boost their confidence. But the Dolphins ain't easy, though. Their offense is very explosive. The Jets' D could totally slow them down, though. But it's the Jets' offense. They're so tragic. It's like, what are they going to do against the Dolphins' defense that, they're not horrible, but they're not great either. I think the Dolphins' offense is going to take advantage of the Jets' defense because the Jets' defense is going to be on the field so much from going 3 and out or turning the ball over or just something, So, I just don't see Tim Boyle being that answer for the Jets. So give me the Dolphins to win this one 20-6. On to the Sunday games. Bucks take on the Colts. A game where both teams aren't good at all. It's going to make it a tough game to pick, though, because they're both so bad. Comes down to who do you trust more, Baker Mayfield or Gardner Minshew. The Bucks definitely got the better offense, despite the Colts with a better run game. The defense, I say, is even. Slight advantage to the Bucks, though. The Colts are coming off of a bye at home, though, but I do trust Baker in this situation more than I do Gardner Minshew, so give me the Bucs 20-17. Next, the Patriots take on the Giants. So whenever we hear Patriots versus Giants, we think of those Super Bowls between Brady and Eli, but this is the polar opposite. This is the 2-8 Pats taking on the 3-8 Giants. Bailey Zappi is most likely starting over Mac Jones, who is going to be benched, and then Tommy DeVito is going to be starting for the Giants, so it's definitely not a Brady versus Manning situation. And, which team just wants to lose more? Because both could have a very high draft pick, or they're going to have a very high draft pick, and they don't want to screw it up by winning. Both teams are just so bad. It could be a fun watch. You never know. I got zero confidence in this pick. I'm going to go with the Patriots, though, 12-9, since they're coming off of a bye. Next, the Pittsburgh Steelers take on the Cincinnati Bengals. So two AFC North rivals battling it out for the first time this season. Both teams with disappointing losses last week. Both teams with major changes this week. Pittsburgh fires their offensive coordinator, Matt Canada, and Bengals have Joey Burrow hurt. The Pittsburgh fans have been screaming for Canada to be fired, and now he finally is. They finally got their wish, and will the offense change? Because if nothing changes, then you got to start blaming someone else, right? And as for the Cincinnati offense, obviously things are changing because Joe Burrow is done for the season. Jake Browning's going to be the quarterback, and they're still in the playoff mix at 5-5. A win would be huge, and I think they're capable of doing so. They have a good defense. Pittsburgh defense is really good, but they can't stop the run. Browning did very good against the Ravens defense, who have a way better defense than Pittsburgh, and with all week to practice, Jake Browning could shock us. If each team could avoid turning the ball over, and if the run game gets going, either team can win. But I think I'm gonna have to roll with. the Bengals here. I really do. I think that they can win this game. I think Pittsburgh might sleep on them, and they're not that good because Pittsburgh can't pass the ball that much. They've been running the ball very well, but if the Bengals stop the run and force Kenny Pickett to throw, it could be a long day. So I got the Bengals sneaking a win, 18-16. Next, the Panthers take on the Titans. So man, oh man, I can't believe people are actually gonna watch this game. Both teams are horrible. It's impossible to pick a winner because either side can win, but at least we're able to see rookie quarterback Bryce Young and Will Levis face off. I guess I'll go with the Titans 21-14 due to them having a better run game and defense. Next, the Jaguars take on the Texans. So a matchup between two AFC South rivals is going to be spicy. It's going to feel like a playoff game. The winner of this game could determine the winner of the AFC South. The Texans pulled off the upset earlier on the road in Jacksonville. That Texans team was way different than they are now. This Texans team is hitting their stride and they're getting hot at the right time. On paper, the Jaguars are better right now, but Texans are playing better football, in my opinion. Both teams match up very well. The offense and defense are very equal. I give the slight edge on offense to the Jags, but there's no denying how great the Texans offense has been, especially over this past month. It's very, very tough to pick a winner, but I don't have any confidence in it, but I got to go Jaguars 31-28. Next, the Saints take on the Falcons. So NFC South rivals, they cross paths for the first time this year, and each team needs this win to clinch a possible playoff spot. This could be detrimental in the future for a playoff berth, and then it could be detrimental for who clinches the NFC South. They'll both be well-rested since they're coming off of a bye. Both are the definition of inconsistent, though. It's an equal matchup. The quarterback goes to the Saints, though. The wide receiver advantage goes to the Saints. The run game, I got to go Atlanta. The defense Atlanta and the offensive line Atlanta. So not sure who's going to be starting at Atlanta or for Atlanta for QB. Is it going to be Desmond Ridder? Is it going to be Taylor Heineke if he's healthy? Usually these two split the series 1-1 every year. It's tough to pick a winner. It really is because both sides are just so inconsistent. But I guess I'll go with Atlanta since they're home. That's my logic pretty much. And 22-17 is going to be the score, I think. Next, the Rams take on the Cardinals. So these two NFC West rivals, they collide for the second time this season. Rams took care of them convincingly earlier this season, but that's when Arizona had no Kyler Murray. Since Kyler's return, the Cardinals are 1-1 and been very competitive in each game. The Rams won a close one versus a very tough opponent in the Seahawks last week, and the Cardinals lost a close one against another tough opponent in the Texans, who are just absolutely on fire right now. So this is going to be another tough one. The Cardinals definitely have the better defense and run game, but the Rams have the better wide receivers and arguably the better quarterback. Another pick that I don't trust at all, but I got to go Rams sweeping them 27-24. 24. Next, the Browns take on the Denver Broncos. So this game is going to be a good one. Playoff implications at stake. Cleveland has a chance if they win. They move themselves closer to that division title, and they can definitely lock in a spot for the wild card. While the Broncos are just trying to make a playoff push. Both teams are playing great football right now. If the the Cleveland Browns are getting things done with an injured team. The Broncos are on a 5-game win streak. The Denver offense is looking way better each week, especially with Russell Wilson. A lot of people owe him an apology because they thought he'd be trash again, but that's not the case. The Cleveland defense is elite as can be, the best in the league in my opinion. And the Denver defense, speaking of defenses, they've been great too the past few weeks. It's going to come down to who makes the less mistakes. What defense makes the best plays, and who's going to run the ball better. I think Cleveland has a better run game, and it's going to show on Sunday. So I got Cleveland winning a close one, 18-13. Next, the Bills take on the Eagles. So another good game ahead of us. The Bills got a solid win last week, which they needed. The Eagles made a statement with the win on the road in Kansas City. And last week, the Bills offense dominated an elite defense in the Jets. The Eagles offense was very sloppy, but they still got the win. Both defenses are very shaky. The Bills have been super injured on that side of the ball, while the Eagles have a very good front seven, but a awful secondary. There's no denying that the Eagles are better all around. Better O-line, better wide receivers, better run game, and arguably a better defense and quarterback. But, the Bills are coming off a huge win, and they could be having momentum on their side. Of course, I'm an Eagles hater, so I'm going to go with the Bills here with the score of 29-26. The next game is this Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Las Vegas Raiders. So two AFC West rivals will fight for the first time this season. They're both coming off close losses. Kansas City lost when they shouldn't have had against Philly. The Raiders, they hung in there a very tough game with the Dolphins, a good Dolphins team. The Raiders do have a chance. They really do, because they're playing great football under Antonio Pierce, and especially because the Chiefs cannot score in the second half. The Chiefs are obviously still good, but it's just strange that their second half scoring is one of the worst in the NFL, but I think they bounce back this game with a 31-21 win. Next, the Baltimore Ravens take on the Los Angeles Chargers. These teams are polar opposites. The Ravens know how to win. The Chargers know how to win, but shoot themselves in the foot to take a loss. I can see the Ravens running all over this Chargers defense. I don't really know how the Chargers are going to win unless if Herbert or Austin Eckler go absolutely stupidly crazy against a very great defense, which I don't see happening. So the Ravens should handle business with a score of 28-17. The final game, the Monday game, the Chicago Bears taking on the Minnesota Vikings. So the second time meeting between these guys. They're both NFC North rivals. Minnesota beat Chicago pretty significantly last time, about a month ago. The Vikings are coming off of a very close loss after a very good win streak. Chicago also got a very close loss against Detroit. But I don't see another blowout, but I can see it being a close game by the Vikings, and I think they're going to bounce back, and they're going to learn from last week's loss by getting a win this week by the score of 30-24. So that's it for my picks right now. Let me know what you guys think. But before I say goodbye, my bye weeks, there's no more teams in the bye right now for week 12. They continue next week in week 13. My lock of the week is going to be the Chiefs over the Raiders, and then my upset is the Browns over the Broncos. So that's it for my picks. Let me know what you guys think. Talk to me. Let me know. Look, call me an idiot if you want to be like, I don't agree with you, or say like, oh man, your picks are awesome, blah, blah, blah. Just let me know. I always enjoy feedback. It's always appreciated over here on this side. And don't forget, subscribe to this exact YouTube channel. Follow me on my Instagram below. Take care. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving and enjoy some football.